Today on First Cup, we're going to talk about the latest episode of Martial Arts Radio. We're going to talk about my time away. We're going to talk about what you did over the weekend if you're with us live. So stick around. We're rolling in 15 seconds. Got my coffee. I got extra coffee. Am I missing anything? I don't think so. I think we're good. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Monday. It is September 27th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. Look at all those messages pouring in already. Hope everybody's having a good morning thus far. Good morning to Francis and Andrew and Stacy and anybody else watching live, or those of you watching, listening later on. Thanks for coming by. Andrew says, hope you had a good time on the Cape. I did. I had a really nice time. It is not often that I just kind of let the wheels fall off and just kind of go and do. Especially, I have a bit of a frugal mindset. I don't like to spend money on things I don't have to. And, well, I kind of, good morning, Tommy, kind of let all that go for the weekend. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my stories. I posted a ton of photos of what I was eating. I had some incredible meals. I had some of the best food I've had in a long time. I do think I overdid the fried food. My stomach is not happy. So, got some corrective actions coming over the next few weeks in terms of some fasting and some other stuff, because my stomach's just like, just a lot of bloating, like really uncomfortable. But what did I have? I had tasty local beer, and I had wine, and I had tuna tartare, which was basically tuna sushi with, what did they do it together with? There was avocado and seaweed salad, and it was one of the most delicious things I've ever had. Thank you. Dennis says, welcome home. Thank you, everyone. But the other half, the reason that I didn't so much mind letting the wheels fall off is I didn't spend money on anything else. I stayed at the cheapest hotel. It was like sub $80 a night. It was at America's Best, which, it wasn't. But it was really clean. It was surprisingly clean for a low-end motel. And I didn't do anything. Like, I walked around. Saturday, I literally went from beach to beach looking for things to take pictures of. And at one point, I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of on the sand, watching into the water. Because this was a beach, Nauset Beach, that's known for sharks. And I was like, maybe I'll see a shark. That'd be cool. This beach was monstrous. Like, I could not see from one end to the other. It was a very long beach. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just kind of like staring into the waves and taking some pictures. Water's kind of interesting to take pictures of. And a seal pops his head up, like right in front of me, about 30 feet. I went, oh! And that changed the day. Because I managed to get some photos as it popped up further down. There was another one that came by. And the one that came by, there was an older couple walking. And I said, oh, a seal. And they turn and they're like, oh, yeah. And the woman could tell. She's like, looking at me for a second, like, why is this guy so excited? She's like, have you been to the Chatham Fish Pier? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she showed me some photos. And it reminded me of a place I'd been in Galapagos, where the fishing boats come in and they're chopping and weighing and everything. And the seals are there just waiting for the scraps. So I said, I guess I'm going there. So I went there, had a really, really good meal. Again, it was fried because everything. For some reason, all seafood has to be fried. It drives me nuts. But anyway. Stacy says whiskey. Yeah. Did I show you guys the bottle? Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure I showed you the bottle. This was the bottle I bought on the way down. This is the most expensive bottle I've bought in a while. It was like $35. On the way back up, I bought this for $20. This is probably the best $20 whiskey you're gonna find. Old Forester. But I had a good time taking pictures of some seals and hanging out and just walk. I probably did 4 or 5 miles of beach walking on Saturday. My feet are quite soft. I'm not going to show you my feet. Jared says seals equal water puppies. They absolutely do. For those of you who don't, I don't know this for sure, but I am convinced that they have a common genetic ancestor. Because if you've ever seen the way seals interact with each other, if you've seen the way they play, the way they sleep, just their mannerisms, down to their BMs, they're identical. They are the same animal. And I managed to take a photo, and it's up, not as a story, but as a post on my Instagram. And it's a seal in the water, just like looking longingly at them unloading the boat, like, can I have some food? So, check that out. But it was a good time. I'm glad I went away. I'm happy to be home. It was the right length of time. Did I do anything else? I walked around. Oh, I saw Shang-Chi. I did. As I was driving around, I was like, well, there's a mall here. Oh, there's a movie theater. Oh, Shang-Chi's playing in 15 minutes. So I went and I watched. I was literally the only person in the theater. It's one of the best Marvel movies ever. And I'm not saying that because of the martial arts. It really is. The acting, the writing. If you liked Guardians of the Galaxy for the blend of the humor and the action, absolutely. They captured the same thing with this. The choreography is good. The storytelling is good. Watch it. Just watch it. I'm not going to say anything else. It was really well done. So, check it out. Jared says, there is some evolutionary history between pinnipeds, seals, and caniforms, dogs. Unsurprising. And Andrew's agreeing with me. He watched it last night. It was good. It really was. It was quite good. Came home. When did I get home? About 4 o'clock. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. I wanted to go for a walk, and then I looked outside, and I was like, there are plenty of things I haven't done in the garden in days. And so I just put some earbuds in and did a bunch of work. Pulled the beans, and now I've got gallons of beans that need to be shelled. Gonna chip away at that. Because that's the nice thing about beans, is you really don't, they're not gonna, as long as they're dry, they're not gonna rot. What else did I do outside yesterday? Just checked on a few other things. I'm doing a mental scan. The tomatillos are still going nuts. Getting ground cherries. I had about a pint of raspberries that I pulled off. I ate for dessert. Coffee's good. And the drive wasn't that bad. Once I got off the Cape, the drive was fine. But I gotta say, people from Massachusetts, you're all insane. You don't know how to drive. You're crazy. You're too aggressive. I'm much happier driving here. Some condensation out there. I was deliberating this morning, when do the plants have to come in, and I think it's Thursday. I wrote it down. Thursday I'll bring the plants in. Frank says, on Friday, his birthday, I saw A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood starring Tom Hanks. Oh, that's the Mr. Rogers movie. How was it? I haven't seen it. I want to see it. And Stacy agrees. Cape driving is a whole other level of crazy. For those of you who don't live in New England or maybe haven't driven onto Cape Cod, I don't know how to describe it, but imagine a bunch of people trying to go somewhere and there's half as much road as there should be. Most of Cape Cod's roads are 2-lane, and way more people want to be on them. And everyone drives aggressively and wants to get in front of everybody else. So instead of everyone going and just kind of sticking with traffic, as they do in some areas, it's constant gas brake, gas brake, gas brake, gas brake. Because if you leave enough room for a car, you're like, oh, I'm going to leave a little bit of distance to be safe. No, suddenly there will be a car there, and it's less safe. It's actually more dangerous to drive defensively in Massachusetts. You have to drive aggressively. I don't like it. Really don't like it. I have not driven in the Philly area. And Andrew says, truer words have not been spoken. I lived there for a year, and it's totally like that. The car, the RAV, has that auto brake thing, and you can set the distance, but the minimum distance is still too far. And after about 10 minutes of getting cut off, I was like, I can't, I have to do this. So you have to leave like 3/4 of a car length in heavy traffic. And this is why you see so many accidents. I saw a brand new Kia Telluride. Drove by, I was like, oh, that's a nice car. 5 miles later, pulled off on the side of the road, bumper smashed. Somebody rear-ended him. Anything else? I don't think so. I'm looking around at the piles of things that I unloaded from my car that need to be put away. Nope. There's a lot of cleanup from going away, you know? You get back and you're like, oh, I got to put this away and this way and this way. And all of these things. Then it says, Connecticut drivers try hard to be as bad as Mass drivers. They do. Now, admittedly, I don't have as much experience with Connecticut drivers. I have a little more experience with New York drivers. I find New York drivers to be aggressive, but not in the same way. Although, New York drivers in New York versus New York drivers out of New York are a different breed. New York drivers out of New York, they just don't care. They do not. They give zero, right? They're just so. Miraculously, the weather was wonderful. On the drive down, as of Thursday, it was supposed to be rainy all Friday and Saturday. I was like, oh great, the 2 days that I'm here. Barely rained. When I was at dinner on Saturday night, there was rain, and I was sitting outside, you know, under some umbrellas, and as long as I didn't lean back, I didn't get rained on. Rain managed to stop just in time for me to walk back to the hotel. It was perfect. It was almost somebody was like turning the rain off and on for me. Now it is Monday. Let's see if today's episode is live yet. Let's check. Where are we going? We got to go over here for that. Do. Yeah. Sensei Angel Loomis. I still like that noise. I'm reading through. I'm trying to remind myself of this one. Okay. Yeah. There's nothing that I'm going to be able to say from this episode that isn't that doesn't give stuff away that I'm remembering. This is one of the problems with recording weeks in advance, which we need to do. Not every episode sticks with me. I've actually got something that I'm working on to leave myself reminder notes for describing it later for purposes of this conversation. But I know you all listen anyway, so maybe I don't need to do that. Go check it out. 644. We're coming up on 650. We're coming up on 700. I don't know. We just keep going. We just keep going. Keep going. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And see, Andrew has a better memory for this stuff. Essentially, Angel Lemus, 1 Minute Bunkai. There's a YouTube channel, 1 Minute Bunkai. And he had a magazine and has brought it back. So, new martial arts magazines coming. Yay! I'm excited about that. Even if they're not ours. We're starting to work on issue 2. All right, now Jared. Andrew says, not a better memory. I just like his YouTube channel. Nice. All right. Jared left a couple great questions over on the First Cup with Jeremy Facebook page. And let's start with the second one. Without naming names, what's the most outlandish thing you've seen done in the name of martial arts? So I thought about this one. And I think when I think of outlandish, you know, I would expect most people, if they hear that question, they're going to expect that I'm going to answer in terms of a person. I'm going to answer in terms of this school or this person or this competition or that. And I could go there. But when I think of what's most outlandish, what people have done outlandish in the name of martial arts, it's not that. If you follow the hashtag martial arts on Instagram, which I do, and probably shouldn't, you will see that, how do I want to say this? Everything with flexibility is supposedly martial arts. The practice of flexibility is somehow like restricted to martial artists. And there is a very broad set of, as far as I can tell, it's all women, or at least primarily women, in photos where they are physically attractive and very mildly related to martial arts, and they're going their followings that way. Like, you see someone and they've, their bio will say that they're a martial artist, and it'll usually be something that seems to give them a lot of credibility, rank or competition award or something, world champion, such and such, this, that, the other. And you look at their feed and there's nothing to do with martial arts, and it's just them being attractive. And I see how many of my friends that are, that's the way Instagram works. Oh, here are all your friends who like this page. Well, I know you're not liking it because there's martial arts going on here, because there isn't any. And I think that's the best answer I can give. Because it's... Now, to be fair, I have no issue with anybody posting whatever they want to post. But if it's not martial art, don't call it martial arts. If it's you in a bikini, don't hashtag it with martial arts. If it's you in a bikini not doing any martial arts, just sitting there, don't tag it with martial arts. I think that's the most ridiculous thing. We got one more from Jared, and I think I saw Frank send me stuff. Come on, phone. Doesn't my phone know how to work? Here we go. Frank's got a couple questions about breaking. I'll answer those after. And then Jared's other question, what's the best idea you've never done? Well, I'm going to not talk about the martial arts related ones because those are all still on the timeline. Whether or not they happen, I can't say, but I still have plans for all of them. But the best idea I've never done. Well, I did that one. Didn't work well. I tried that. That didn't work. Hold on, I'm thinking. I have business ideas like every day, and I try to give them to other people because I want them to work. I was like, here, I make this thing because I want it. Here's the best idea. And I've actually, there's a fitness podcast that I pay attention to, and they have some training programs, and they're pretty good. They are big enough and have enough people doing them that I've encouraged them to produce an app. And the whole premise of the app was that if we all doing these programs, instead of just logging our information in a sheet, log it into an app, there's enough data coming back out of that that they can start to see patterns, and they can do split testing and say, okay, so this group of people, we're going to make an adjustment for the program, for these 2 weeks, 3 weeks, versus this control of what we've always done. And they could start to dial in the most effective fitness training program that you could get, because they could just keep split testing certain things, very small things, because there are thousands, if not tens of thousands of people using their programs. There's more than enough to get the information back. So that's the best idea I've had, because you could apply that to anything. When you have enough people doing things in an objective way, and you can take the feedback, the data, and you can split test, you can do anything. You just repeat that process. Tommy says, you're very business-minded, so I'm sure you must be loaded with ideas for yourself and others. Yeah. The number of even just martial arts related ideas that I have, it's kind of crazy. It can be overwhelming sometimes. There was one. What was the one? There was something yesterday as I was sitting here. I was like, oh, I wish we could do that. And I remembered, we're not there yet. We're not ready. Oh, that's what it was. It had to do with, no, I'm not going to talk about that one, because that's a giveaway on something that we're starting smaller on. We need more people. We need more people kind of like in our inner circle. We have a few dozen who I would call really are like inner circle people. We need a few hundred to pull some of this stuff off that I really want to do. And we'll get there. And just keep chipping away. It's like anything else. You plug along, and eventually you get there. I'm in no rush. Coffee's good. Coffee's good this morning. Okay. So Frank says, what's the most number of wooden boards you've seen a martial artist break? Stacy, you might have to help me out with this one. How many boards did Master Jordan break with that sidekick at his, what was that, his sixth? At his sixth presentation? Was it 20? 15? It was some ridiculous number. I think that's the most. It was a lot. I've seen plenty of people do, 8, 10, 12 with various things, a lot of elbows and stomps. But I think that's definitely the most I've seen with a sidekick. Stacy says 15. Yeah. It was really clean. He had to build a special holder and braced it on a wall. It was really, really a cool demo. think the most I've ever done is 6. Breaking is not something I've put a lot of time into. Laura's done 14 or 15, which, yeah. Jenny's asking, with or without spacers? My memory for that side kick is that there were not spacers. But that doesn't make sense. Because that would be a solid block of 15. There must have been spacers in there. Stacy has video of me breaking 6. Oh yeah, was that a free training day? Or was that at my testing? I think that might have been my 3rd. Stacy says, yeah, I think there were spacers. Yeah, there must have been spacers because I've done, well, if I did 6, there weren't spacers. I've not done, I don't think I've ever done breaks with spacers. It was at free training day. Okay. I've done plenty of 4s, reverse punch, standing side kick. This knuckle's still off. I finally figured out what was going on with it. It's whatever goes over the top of the knuckle. That's the part that's injured. I could probably do 4 with this hand. That would be interesting. Oh, the rotation on the other side. It was a free training day. So come to free training day. Who knows what's going to happen? You never know what's going to happen. I got to work on free training day stuff. There are a handful of instructors who owe me descriptions. I gotta bug them about that. And then Frank's other question: have you ever seen a martial artist break a concrete block in real life? I'm told they are also called soaps or pavers. So we're not talking about a cinder block, right? We're talking about a block. I broke, I don't know how many I broke that day. I think it was 2. With an elbow. I've seen people break. Stacy's probably seen Adam Grogan break more than I have. But I've seen Adam go through quite a few. 6? There's a level of breaking out there that we just can't quite comprehend. Chip Townsend, who's been on the show, has shin kicked through 4 or 5 baseball bats. Not one baseball bat, and not one baseball bat and then another, but through. Because he's nuts. And I would tell him that to his face. But I don't mean it in a negative way. Chip's a great guy. Stacy says, I've seen a 16 paver break. Master Salona, previous guest on the show, makes and breaks his own cement blocks. Tommy says, I've seen pavers and ice. Blocks of ice are interesting. Only time I've seen anybody break ice is in, which Karate Kid is that, 2? Laura broke 6 pavers. Man. It's insane. Breaking is just it's just a different level. It's just a different level of commitment. You got to be a little crazy to do it, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I think breaking is cool. And I love when people, but boards don't hit back. Okay. So what? It's not advantageous to learn how to put your foot, fist, elbow through greater and greater resistance? How does that not help me? Definitely helps me. Ice breaks are fun. Did one this past winter, says Stacy. So, there we go. Good conversation this morning, y'all. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. What's going on today? I have like an all-day meeting with a client. All day. Not necessarily, but I've got the day carved out. We'll see what happens. And honestly, because of the way the world is, that meeting may end up here. So I've got to spend some time putting things away because, whoo, place looks like a bomb went off. Pretty much emptied the car and just threw stuff wherever in here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put things away and I'm going to work. and I'm going to see you tomorrow. And you're going to leave me stuff to talk about over on the Facebook page. I'm going to go leave a thing or a post right there so you can have a place to post it. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day. And remember, if you want to support all the work that we're doing, we've got a Patreon, and we've got the code FIRSTCUP15 at whistlekick.com. Don't forget, if you're coming to free training day, and you should be coming to free training day, get a shirt. Because it's cool design, number one. Number two, I make like $3. If you use the code, I make like 50 cents. But more important than that, there's something going on. Okay? There's something we're doing. It's coming. That's all I'm going to tell you. You can probably guess some stuff, but have a shirt. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.